All right. Thank you guys for patiently waiting there. About 19 seconds delayed here. So, how are you guys doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I hope is everything going well on the stream. My thing's a little weird. Yeah, if you guys are able to not not able to hear me, let me know. I think we're okay though. So, yeah, let's move this up. This is not the new trade, but I'll show you guys the new trade because I'm so kind. AVAX is one that I'm looking at. I'm not going to tell you here, exactly on the live stream, like where the stop loss and take profit are. But I think you may have a good shot for some continuation here. Obviously, a lot of volatility. We're almost up to $30. So I mean, I guess when you look at kind of these markets and all that, in general, when you look at all of this in general, I think there's a good shot, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, a couple of things have happened. I guess unemployment came out worse than expected. One inflation data point came out better than expected. Another one a little bit worse than expected. So, I guess overall inflation kind of coming down, job market weakening. So I guess it's kind of like bad news is becoming bad news. Interest rates have been down. So yeah, I mean, kind of a lot has happened. I mean, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated. I'm still real sad about. I mean, obviously it's just sad. It's just sad. Very sad. I mean, obviously they're trying to find. Seems like they kind of have a suspect almost. As soon as they could locate him, which it seems like they definitely will. Based on what they've seen. The video found on the Ring doorbell or whatever is interesting. That's really. I find that really interesting because it's like there's three people that look weird. There's like a guy limping on the street, and then there's somebody like hiding. I think it's the person hiding, but there's like it's like multiple. But it's an interesting thing. Hopefully, they find out who the hell did this. And yeah, I mean, so 92% chance of a rate cut there. 80% chance of another one in October, so it's pretty much a done deal. And then 75% chance of another one in December. The December one, I guess there's possibility of a pause, but that's probably going to be a rate cut. And then January still is a favorite for a pause. And, if you look at for your cycle, I mean, I feel like it's almost too obvious, but if you look at what happened last time when they finally paused after cutting rates a bit, that was when the market was over. So it could be a January peak for some of these damn alts, or that it could be a good place to get the hell out, based on for your cycle and all that. So yeah. And if we look at this is jumping up, so I think you're getting close. Don't be asleep. That's what I will. Most important thing here, don't be asleep. And let's look at what else is going on real quick before we get into the actual charts. But what's up, Carlton? Way appreciate you through it. Yeah. So I mean that's already kind of getting. I think two of the rate cuts are probably already factored in terms of pricing right now. In terms of like interest rates, just wanted to look at your funding rates are pretty healthy, especially for Bitcoin. So that's good. Singapore alert, interesting there. Let's see here and. Let's see. Let's see. So, perfect. Okay. Anyway, not too much really going on there. It is a little bit late on the East Coast. Mexico, I think twice. That's interesting. Anyway, who cares about that? But yeah. So rate cuts there. Let's look at. All right. I'm just curious before. There's a lot to look at here. Let's just see. I just want to see what the because I know like mortgage rates have been dropping obviously because of this. So I would say this factors in probably in terms of the yields. This factors in probably two rate cuts. If you get a third one December, that would probably come down a little bit more. I would think this generally should head down more. I mean, one of the view a lot of people had, and kind of including myself, I think Ben Cowan talked about this, is you're probably not going to see, interest rates really come down, crazy significantly until you see, until what am I doing here? Until you see what asset prices really come down. So I think this gradually will come down. Hopefully, at some point in 2026, you'll be down here. For your 10-year or whatever. I want to look at the TLT as well. I know some of you guys probably just want. Well, I did a video. I don't know if you saw my latest video, Johnny. I uploaded a video about 16 hours ago. But yeah, appreciate you. Kind of hibernated during the when the market was boring, and now we're coming up. So yeah, I mean, interesting too, the TLT. I mean, I would hope for this point, that's the thing too, because a 30-year mortgage over here was like what, high 5, 6%. You probably, the earliest you'll see the high 5s would be January, February, kind of that area. But that would probably be enough for a lot. If you could get it consistently there, that would be probably enough to get a lot of people to jump into the housing market that are on the sidelines and potentially bring up housing. Now, Miami real estate's been down a little bit. I mean, I know some of you probably. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's probably a nice bottom, nice generational bottom. No, the stupid generational bottom thing. But yeah, you get the snake eyes. I mean, usually that gives you what you need. Let's say that the weekly 2 is going to give you that. So if you look at here and you look at just general basic, basic TA, that point, that's what I would hope for. I mean, our peak here, a couple more years, 20% you could hope for maybe from where we are right now. Something worth $1 million, 1.2 million maybe, not extremely unreasonable. So yeah, anyway, but yeah. So let's look at the things people actually care about, like Ethereum and clickbaity title or whatever of this live stream. Ethereum right now is potentially jumping up to back up to the all-time high mark, and then I would say best case scenario for end of month would be 5,400 or something. I mean, it coiled up a bit, and now you're breaking upward. I mean, it could continue boring. You could reject from 48 again. It does look good on some of these time frames. I mean, it's kind of crazy too with all this, kind of, how your indicator populates and all that, how it looks, algorithmically or whatever, this comes up, and then you're not even. I mean, you made a new all-time high, and you're not even in the green yet here. So I mean, these 2 times you had more when you came into the green. Obviously, this time you had a whole lot more. But even if you top out the moment you hit the green here, which that'll probably be in a few weeks, but that's still, you still got more, Like I would think once you come into the green, you probably got, you got a little bit more. I mean, that 3-week 2, I mean, this probably will not print until at least sometime in October, probably not November or December, that 3-week red dot. It could be January too. And that would be the big place to get the hell out in my opinion. I wanted to look at too, because ETH probably, if you verse it against the DXY, probably has not made a new all-time high against the DXY, not yet. You're close though, not quite. But let's actually mark that out. Yeah, let's mark that out. Oh, almost. You're very damn close. You'll hit it, I think. You'll get it. You'll definitely get it, I think. Yeah. And that 3-week too. Yeah, October, November, yeah. That area right there, I think, is a good shot. I mean, from that all-time high. I mean, you could come up even higher, but let's take one thing at a time. I think we're getting into a very exciting phase, of this market. Very exciting phase of this market. And I think the, AVAX versus a lot of things versus ETH look really good. Now, if you got cojones of steel, if you got no balls, convert your ETH to AVAX. Not risky. I mean, I just have what I bought, DCA'd into a year or 2 years ago, mainly at this point, and I'm just waiting it out. And I'm going to start DCAing out in the beginning of October, most likely, so 3 weeks. I mean, it does feel a little bit early to start DCAing out for something like AVAX, especially because you're still below this damn high of December. I mean, we need a big, we want a big jump. And I mean, a lot of alts could somewhat follow in the footsteps of CRO of all things, and hopefully this jumps up higher too, which I think it will. Chainlink, I think, this has got a good shot of a new all-time high. A lot of alts probably won't make new all-time highs, at least not by the end of the year. Chainlink probably will. I think it's got a good shot of doing so. So yeah, only need a double for there. So yeah, I think next week could be good. Yeah, definitely could be. So yeah, and always appreciate you guys smashing the like button, all that good stuff. If you want to make some of these trades, check out the Altcoin Empire VIP Discord down below. And there's a new promo for you guys who like ETH. Get up to 10K worth of ETH. They did BYDFI first. They did Bitcoin. Now they're doing Ethereum. One of my friends used to always pronounce Ethereum. Tomato. 13 days gone, but yeah, you could, for trading volumes, you could get 10K worth of ETH. People like this one, so check it out over on BYDFI with my link down below. 20% off your fees for life as well if you sign with my link. And BloFin as well, going on 2 more days. You get 15% cash back on your first deposit up to 3K. So if you deposit, I don't know the math on 15%. You deposit, what is... I don't know. If you deposit 10K, you're getting at least, if you deposit 10K, you're getting $1,500 bonus. If you deposit 20K, you're getting the 3,000. Yeah, it's up to, so it's a good thing. So check it out. 20% cash back off your fees for life. And if you deposit at least $100 on either of those exchanges, make sure you open a support ticket in the Altcoin Empire VIP Discord with your UID or your email, and we'll get you started. Give me just 1 second. I just want to put this in the refrigerator. Don't want my tea to get too warm, So yeah, check that out if you guys are interested. And yeah, let's see here. So if we, wrong one. Solana too, I think can jump up higher. 270 should be a nice trip, and then 400. From there. I think the ETF. Yeah, I haven't been following the ETF news too closely. What's the deal with the ETH staking ETF? I think that probably when that comes to fruition, which probably will be in Q4 if it does, that'll probably be a sell signal, honestly. But so yeah, based on 4-year cycle. But ETH 4,500, compared to what we were seeing at 1,400, we'll take it. What's up, Prosper? So yeah, Chainlink against ETH looks good. A lot of things vary. Probably a lot of people would argue that you're going to reject here or whatever. I hope not, but it sure could happen. I think this could, have a nice jump a little bit more. Maybe this doesn't. If you look at from the high here on others versus Bitcoin, January at this point, this made, let's just pinpoint this, 78% higher. Here. Can you make a new all-time high here? I don't. Probably not, but we'll see. You would need something wild. You'd need something like this. You know what I mean? Well, not that crazy, but you'd need something wild in the next couple of months. Can it happen? Anything's possible. It's crypto, but we'll see. So yeah, and Cardano. People have been asking me about. I haven't looked at that in a day or two. Let's take a look. Yeah, same old. That area right there. Just curious about, yeah. That area. I think this should easily break up to $2.23 again. That would probably be, maybe I'm being too optimistic, but I feel like that's worst case scenario. This should break up. Cardano should break up. So yeah. Cardano is 90 cents, yeah. Should break upward. Let's look at Cardano ETH. That's a big point. Yeah, that should continue. Give it a few months. Yeah, that should jump up. How about Matic as well? What's up, Crunk? And then, yeah, Matic, I've been really hoping this breaks upward, which I think it should. You're kind of, or Polygon, I should say, I guess. Right there, and then at least 40 cents or something Could be 40 cents end of month. We'll see what happens though. Yeah, $5 Cardano is doable. I mean, it's definitely doable. That would raise, a lot of people would be like, whoa. A lot of people would be like, whoa. $5 Cardano. I just wanted to look at Palantir. That's the one CryptoFace talks about a lot, Palantir. The AI one, yeah. To that point. It's like the same thing, the 3 week. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, in a year from now, this is probably going to be significantly down. I mean, what type of corrections, if you compare it to like the big coin, I just want to compare this to like the big boys of last, like, cycle that were popular stocks or whatever that were with the biggest thing. So, you look at, I mean, I know it's not the best comparison. Okay, this came down 91. What did Hood come to? Was that 90? Yeah, that's what I want to see. Like, what did... Oh, that was nuts right there. I didn't realize how. Yeah, 91. Okay. I mean, I don't think this will come down a full 91%, but you got to be prepared, That would probably be worst case. Yeah, it'd be funny if it's that exact. It's 90%, yeah. I mean, I think I would say 21 is absolutely like worst case scenario or something. These points. And then the core weave one that I think that I don't know of him too well. Mike Alfred on Twitter talks about this one. He's like top 1/10 of one. He's like 1 in 100 trillion for like running ultra marathons. I'm kidding. He's like really good for running ultra marathons or whatever. Very better than everybody else. And it's impressive. It ain't easy to do. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, he's talked about this one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're getting your jump. We'll see if it can do what it wants to do. But I mean, a lot of these do see that full bubble pop pattern sometimes, so just be careful. So yeah. Oh, H bar is a good one to look at. Yeah, let's look at H bar because that's like shown a lot of strength or whatever. Yeah, I think this has got a good shot of hopefully getting back up to 42 and then 59, maybe even 90. 90 is a lot, but we'll see what happens. VeChain's kind of, yeah, a little bit lackluster, but I would hope like this, and yeah, freaking yeah, I would hope it can jump up. Algorand as well. I would hope that can potentially do something. We're just hoping for 70 cents or something, 2 or 3x or whatever. But yeah, let's see there. Oh yeah, Near's a good one. Yeah, I mean, very lackluster since the December 24. They got listed on Coinbase not that long ago. But jumping up, so I think we're really, a lot of these you're just hoping for freaking 2 or 3x, back up to these December highs, which is still 2 or 3x from here. So yeah, I mean, this altcoin market, it's not. I think you'll get. I mean, that's the thing too for others. I mean, you're creeping. You know what I mean? You haven't quite made that new all-time high yet, but I think you might be able to do it in the next few months. You might be, if things get. You may get that fun phase. Like, don't count it out, guys. Do not count it out because there are. I just want to see how the because the others versus Bitcoin, that 2 month don't F around. You know what I mean? 2 month green Heiken-Ashi, that could be what you're looking for. See that jump right there? All these historical jumps here. So yeah. What was I gonna say there? Tesla, I'm curious how's that done? Not too shabby. Tim Kaine buy signal. And then, yeah, you'll get, I mean, what would Tesla, if you just follow this general path, what would this give you in the next few years? I would say end of decade, you could look at a 2 to 3x, hopefully. End of decade, 2 or 3x or something. That'd be like my 2029 hope numbers. And then you'll probably see a 60% correction back up to in these areas in the 2030s or something. And then, that's just how it generally kind of moves. I would be curious about, like, let's see Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway. So it S&P, yeah. I mean, since 2021, nothing. Yeah, you still haven't made a, obviously it would have been better with Bitcoin in some ways, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is asleep still, man. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, it had the hype back here, and then not exactly, people move on to the next thing. But I think it's got a good shot. It could do a 2 to 3x, maybe make a new all-time high by end of year. I think there's potential. What else did I want to? There's quite a few others I wanted to. Oh yeah, SWE. Take a look. See here. I think SWE's got a shot, double maybe by end of year. That'd be kind of my goal with this. So I think there's some potential. It's hard to follow what I've been saying. In what way? Am I not enunciating enough? Hopefully. Maybe am I mumbling too much? Sorry. Maybe going a little bit too fast. Just slow it down a little bit, maybe. Curious about Crow, like something Crow ETH, maybe. That's not the. Hold on. Some of the charts don't populate the best. Yeah, that just looks like Crow USD. Yeah. That jump right there, still looking pretty good. The thing too with Berkshire, that's like the thing too. It's like the most ironic thing is the most. It's like Bitcoin's probably not going to hit $1 million by the end of the decade, but Berkshire Hathaway probably will. That's the thing too. Like it's just like the million. This is probably the first stock that's ever going to be trading at $1 million a share. I would think. I mean, the thing, I'm just a patterns guy and looking at history and all that and TA, and I mean, it outperformed gold and S&P 500 in 2022, 2018, 2014. I think 2010 even maybe too as well. I don't know about 2010 probably. I'd have to look it up, but so that's a decent. If you can get, and you're just looking for 10 to 20%, and well, probably less than 10, probably 5 to 10% next year or whatever. And I mean, probably will give you that. I mean, you're still gonna get 3 to 4% probably with a savings account next year. But I think it's a good thing to park things into, and it probably will outperform a lot of crap in the 2030s too. I mean, Berkshire is just so American. McDonald's, Heinz ketchup. Like what is more American than Heinz ketchup? Like what that is the most American thing that somebody could ever ever talk about. Like Heinz like you own Heinz, you invest in Heinz ketchup. Like how can you get more American than that? Like you invest in McDonald's? Man. Like in Coca-Cola? The thing too is that Trump was trying to get them to put, not high fructose corn syrup. And I think the U.S. is the only country that puts high fructose corn syrup is in the Coca-Cola, but every other country uses like real sugar, which is hilarious. Can't make that up, but yeah. Does he own Oscar Mayer too? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what is more American than any of that? I mean, what is more American? Anyway. Gold too, I think let's actually look at silver first because that's the one that hasn't made a new all-time high yet. Yeah, April. Yeah, that's a wild thing. Yeah. This, I think, I mean, it's hard to say, but my guess is you will reject from this all-time high, scare some people away. Like, let's look at this here. Let me mark this out, actually. Let's mark out this. Oh, that was okay. Yeah. It made a new all-time high slightly, yeah. My guess is you may do something, yeah, and to the end of the year, you do this. You follow this trajectory. Don't have to be a genius to kind of guess this. And then 26 would be, I mean, where are some points that you would probably, what kind of correction would that be? Yeah, I mean, if gold comes down 20, I could see it's coming down 30. Something there. It probably won't come down to $30, but like maybe 35 or something. And then you'll probably like gradually, slowly into end of decade kind of come back or whatever. It could be more like, I mean, this is just based on how this thing moves. And then your 2030s are probably going to be where and that would probably take, something like that. I don't know. But we'll see. Because it can, I mean, unless they really, you know, didn't I already draw that one out? Let me draw, let's see here. Yeah, then you would probably, 2030s could look like this, you know, overall. I can't even go that far deep. Okay, whatever. But, you know, something like that. Maybe a double to triple in the 20, you know, with everything else not doing too much, this could, you know, maybe even more, who knows. But that's what I would kind of guess there. Yeah, I mean, the thing with gold, I don't think, well, let's look at gold a little bit here. I mean, I think you'll see something like this. Like, you'll hit maybe 4,000 by end of year, then you get like a 20% correction back to these areas, and then, yeah, you know, I don't think it'll do crazy good against, like, you know, because I think, too, we're trying to outperform. I'm just curious about, like, NASDAQ here. That could be, you know, I don't know. You know, it's tough to say. Like, I would think that monthly, when does that go into the, yeah, I don't know. Tough to say here. I think this probably will do good against the NASDAQ and S&P 500 in the 2030s. I don't know if you're there yet, you know what I mean? I don't know if you're quite there yet, but, yeah, I don't know. Robotic stocks. I've got to look into that a little bit more. Yeah, so it's gold triple Q. That's silver triple Q. I don't know if there's, that's almost, yeah, almost like the full bubble pop pattern. Because that, like, great decade, and then when everyone actually started buying it, you know. So, yeah. Well, just because something's a future doesn't mean the stock's going to do well, you know. I mean, it could be, you know, NASDAQ was the future. It did pretty poorly from the year 2000 to the year 2010, you know. But then it did much better the following 2 decades. What's up, Giuseppe? NVIDIA, that's an interesting one too, because yeah, the previous August all time, yeah. So that's done well. Kind of a sleeper, kind of, you know. My guess is you would see maybe, yeah, something like this into end of year. And then probably, what kind of correction would this get? I would think 20 to 30. 20 to 30, and then probably continuation. Just based on history and all that. What's your 2025 growth? I mean, how big of a correction was this? 40%, yeah, good amount. I mean, the thing with this is, like, I'm just curious, is this like more like how Apple once was in its heyday? Like every time it, yeah, I don't know. And was Apple at one point the highest market cap company? I forget. I mean, it still is one of them, but you're still not, yeah, it's still not even above the December high. Apple got slaughtered there. It's not what it, yeah, 34. Everybody thought we were going to a recession there too. Yeah, everybody was. And then Trump was like, no, I'm just kidding about the tariffs. He's not going down anymore. Good. Good. Hope so. That's what I've been saying. But yeah, there's some movement. I mean, what are we up in the past? I mean, was this 5% or something? 6%? Yeah. And so, yeah. And that was Apple. And just see if there's, oops. Just want to see if there's anything. So, I mean, we looked at, I'm just curious what do people, okay, so January is a pause. And then I think March is going to, I mean, this is speculative, but March is going to be a cut. I mean, if it's like, yeah, and then, okay, that's a pause. Okay, so a lot of, that's going to be a cut. So, Yeah, so about 125 basis points down to end of next year. So I mean, what would that bring, mortgage interest rates down to? I mean, it's nothing that insane. Probably down to like high fives, mid fives. It's nothing that crazy. And you're at what, 6.2, 6.4 right now. I mean, nothing that. Yeah. The thing too is if you look at your mortgage rate, yeah, I mean that's down significantly. That was a 6.1 there, like the low overall of September. Okay, so that marked the bottom though. When you started cutting, that marked the damn bottom. When you actually cut, the irony of all of it. I mean, you did have kind of the pullback there too, yeah. I would think this time wouldn't be as, like, you'd probably, and then hopefully into sometime in 26, probably bounce around the fives, mid to high fives or something, So, yeah. But I mean, I don't think this is going down like below 5.7 anytime soon. You probably need, like, if you just look at, like, this was this was what, pandemic, right? Yeah, that was, it was then pandemic, and then what was 08? I mean, you had, they did go down that, in the markets, and it was just gradual. I mean, it has to do with the debt too and all that, but 08 dropped down, But it's probably going to be more, like, let's look at like, say we're 5 years away from 08 or whatever. We're right here. You know what I mean? You were sideways, for that, and then, it's kind of like this. I feel like that's kind of what you're gonna, something like that, and then you're finally, that's peak. See, this is that 18-year Phillips Anderson or whatever real estate cycle. That would be peak home affordability again, like 3% interest rates, early 2030s, and your housing market would probably, I mean, what would your housing market do in that situation? It would probably, let's look at Case-Shiller here. Nope, wrong one. I think it's this one. Yeah, it would probably be something along these lines. Let's see, a peak or something. And that would be, was it 20%, 16 to 20% upward. And then, I mean, it would probably be sideways a little bit, but let's say you did, something like that. It'd probably be more likely, if you were to, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to, like this, and then you're probably back down to these kind of areas. I mean, what would this be? 25%. Yeah, and this is just normally based on history, 20 to 30%, let's say. More likely 20 to 25%. This area right here. And then that's 3% interest rates at prices that you would have got in 2022 for housing. So, I mean, not bad. I would guess the next black swan would be somewhere between 2028 to 2032. More likely between 2030 to 2032, I would think. Probably 2030 if I had to guess, but that's very hard to pinpoint the exact year, obviously. So yeah. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in making some of these trades, mainly swing trades that I give you guys in the Discord, take profits, stop loss, entry points, all that good stuff, check out BloFin for a trading bonus and 20% off your fees for life, only with my link. In addition, BYDFI is doing a new Ethereum giveaway, 13 days that's going on for. So trade to get up to 10K worth of Ethereum. If you sign up to either of those links down below, deposit at least $100 and then open a support ticket with your UID or your email. I'll give you one free month in the Empire VIP Discord, so check that out. What Black Swan event? What would the next Black Swan event probably have to do with? Income inequality, probably more to do with debt, I would think. A lot of debt crisis, student loan stuff. I think a lot of it would have to do with automation taking away, the gig economy jobs that, keep a lot of people out of unemployment, keep a lot of people out of poverty. That's what I would think. There's always going to be a crash every 8 to 15 years. It's kind of just how it works, man. AI, yeah. Quantum computing is always, that big thing. But at that point, you're kind of like, you got to stay with the newest stuff. You got to stay with because that's why not to say old people are always wrong, but that's what they, struggle with sometimes. The newest, things, some of them are still stuck in the 80s, the 70s, they think things are like they were, back in the 70s. Some things were, but not everything, obviously, so yeah. I think that you will see potentially in the 2030s, if there's going to be another world war, it probably will be in the 2030s or 2040s, yeah. It'll be over by probably the 2050s, though. So yeah. Thing with this is interesting. Yeah, right there. It's a peak there or a peak there. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. Curious about SBAT, like those ones that kind of a lot of dumb money has been. Now the interesting thing here, let's look at SBAT versus ETH. That's probably an interesting chart to look at. It has underperformed ETH since it's. It's still ahead of ETH here. If you got in before anything happened, if you got in there, you'd be even. So it's not really. What's the other one? BMNR. Yeah, this. Let's look at this versus ETH. That's when everything happened. If you get in now, you probably will outperform ETH, but I don't know. Rallying a rate cut. We'll see, yeah. It could be the opposite, We could, if it's like last year, we could just keep rallying through it into generally the end of the year. You may not see any big correction until December or January. That's possible. Could keep going into it. It doesn't. You don't have to necessarily correct. You can. You still could come down. The next 2 weeks. It still could be a red month. We don't know. You got about 2-3 more weeks this month. So yeah. Sol is ripping. Yeah, it is rallying a bit. Let's look at what's done stuff. Get going. Let's look at actually, I want to look at NFT floor prices quickly. Yeah, not too much going on there. But let's look at what's done anything. It's funny. AVAX is down one of them. Oh no, that's okay. That's interesting. Pump.fun is up. I want to look at that quickly. It's on Coinbase. That's how you know it's legit. It's come back surprisingly. Okay. What is done well? Undo's done okay. Yeah, Dogecoin. I just don't feel like looking at Dogecoin right now. But let's look at Undo. Undo I think could do well. Undo I think definitely could do well. That's back up to frickin', yeah. On these points right there. Came down to that point, so you're still a ways away from your, December highs. However, Can you do a 2 or 3x and hit $3? I think it's absolutely doable. Yeah, I think it's absolutely doable. So yeah. Yeah, we're coming up. We're coming up. Okay. Okay. It's good. I like it. ETH ETF, that's not moving right now. Markets aren't open, but the trigger wave. I mean, let's just look at. Probably a diminished return version of this. You get half of that, you're probably at this point. So, yeah, keep going. Keep going. Is Sol overbought? I don't think. Not yet. Maybe at $400. Maybe at 280. We'll see. But yeah. So that's done good. And it looked at crypto.com. Oh yeah, let's look at like the depressors. Well, Polkadot's okay. From the drop bottom in June, you're up 40%. Okay. I think you'll jump up and at least hit $5 soon, then hopefully 6 and then 9. This has been an annoying one, but I think it will do something. It does look pretty good at the moment. Bitcoin, maybe you're finally, you're probably down, 99% or something? 96, yeah. You could be turning around for a few months here. ETH, slightly worse, but you could be turning around, yeah. ETH versus others is one that okay. Yeah. Now you're starting to reject there. Or actually, others versus ETH was the better one to look at. But I do think, yeah, you're kind of hitting that point, major point. You're jumping. You should be able to continue, especially with the rate cuts. Now, I don't know what the latest, if it's actually, does anyone know, like, what is QT technically still going on? Like, nobody talks about that anymore. What crypto would I recommend the most? Long term, Bitcoin. If I had to pick one, it would be Bitcoin. If I had to pick 30, it would be more. It's all about diversification. To pick just one altcoin, that's kind of, that's not the way the game is played, really. So, yeah. Sol ETH, yeah, jump up there. Chainlink ETH, yeah. Solana, it's doing good, man. It's doing good. I think it'll outperform a lot of things. Sold Bitcoin here, I'm curious, yeah. And it's still from the December 21. You didn't quite get there. You might get there. You might get close to it, hopefully. Litecoin people we're talking about, and that's coming up a little bit. Hasn't made a new all-time high. Can you get up to $400? I don't know. Can you get up to like 200 or 300? Probably. We'll see what happens. Litecoin ETH, I'm curious about. Let's see here. High or low? So we'll see what happens. Should you wait to buy Solana? That's a good question. Let's take a look at Solana just on the on the macro here. So, in this bear market, it came down about 96%. The correction was 66. Generally how most alts do. If it gets, let's say it gets up to 400, which would be my guess. and it comes down like 70 to 80%. Let's say it just comes down 70. So, you know, you're still at 100. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, waiting a year probably would make the most sense. Yeah. If you're trying to get in the lowest, I mean, it would probably be at like somewhere between, I don't know, like 40 to 80, I would guess. 40 to 100. You know, it's hard to say, but I mean, it'll probably be lower than it is now in a year, you know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. I mean, most things will probably be lower than they are now in a year. That's just, you know, based on history. So, yeah. Trigger waves and such. Trigger wave up there. So we could get back up to like 68, yeah, double, maybe triple. I don't know if we're gonna make a new all-time high, but yeah. Oh, I wanted to look at, what was that, already wrong chart. That could, 18 I could see. 18 I could see. Yeah. AVAX, I mean, well, it depends how you define breakout, but yeah, I mean, AVAX did do something, yeah. I mean, it did, yeah. 28. I mean, I'm looking at 30. You know, I'm looking really, I want new highs from 2024 highs, but you know. So I'm looking at. But I think you might be able, the thing too is if you can do something like this, you know, and then you could get up to like 86, you know, back up to these areas, which would be nice. You know, 3x maybe, you know, maybe even a 5x. We'll see. I mean, a lot of moves happen quick, man. That's the thing. A lot of moves, they happen quick, you know. So, you know, that's that. Let's see. Been on about 52 minutes right now. I'm trying to think what else I want to, you know, look at. And check out, guys, if you're interested, check out the pin chat for BloFin. You get 20% off your fees for life, only with my link. 20% cash back, and then 15% trading bonus. You got 2 more days to claim that up to 3K. BYDFI, 10K worth of ETH giveaway, only with my link, and then 20% off your fees for life, and it as well on BYDFI as well. BYDFI is no VPN, no KYC. BloFin's no KYC, but in some places you do need to use a VPN. So yeah, and remember, if you sign up on either of those exchanges, deposit at least $100 with my link, and make sure you open a support ticket with a UID or your email, and we'll give you 1 free month on All Down Power VIP Discord. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know if there's really too much else to talk about at the moment. I'd be curious about, yeah, let's look at the Bitcoin gold. Let's look at Bitcoin gold here. And this is the one that's actually a little bit more, actually, you know what, who cares about Bitcoin? Let's look at ETH gold at this point. ETH gold. Because that's really, can you make this higher jump in the next few months? I think you might. I think you might. And that was a rough one in January, and then, yeah, I think it's going to jump higher here. Hopefully no all-time high. That's the thing there. And then let's look at, let's look at ETH and the thing that I'm trying to potentially convert it to in a month or two. You know, that's the thing. We want this to make a new all-time high here. It's Berkshire from 21, yeah. Trigger, yeah, I mean, that 3-week trigger and everything, you know. Yeah. The thing here, this high was 144. No, I mean, yeah, I don't know what you would. let's say ETH doubles and Berkshire's kind of sideways. Then you got it. Yeah, that's it. You got it. So it's doable. But a double from here, that's freaking 9K. You know, that's a lot. You know. Solana 4 hour. I think you're heading to 266. Oh, I'll be on Paul Barron tonight or this morning, in a few hours, this morning or tomorrow or whatever. I don't know. The time zone's weird, but you know. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I think I'm probably gonna get going. There just isn't much to really look at the moment right now. Curious how this, that monthly there, market highs. Yeah, that's kind of like this, and then that and that, and you know, that bottom, that much. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, I think I'm probably gonna get going. Not too much else to really talk about at the moment. If you guys are interested in trading, check out BloFin, pin chat, 20% for your fees for life, and good deposit bonus ends in 2 days if you guys are interested. Really good exchange, and then BYDFI as well, link down below. You know, they're doing the ETH giveaway for trading, so if you trade, you can get some ETH back, which probably will do good, hopefully. And remember to open a sport ticket in the Discord with your UID or your email if you signed up and deposited at least $100. So yeah, check that out if you guys are interested. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So yeah, good luck with everything, guys. I'll see you guys really soon. We'll do a chat in the Discord pretty soon. So really appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Smash the like button.